Yeah. And we are live. And welcome back to another episode of the Baseline Bums podcast. It's your host, Rob, aka B Ball Archives. And once again, I got the bum AJ up in the casa. And we got a lot of stuff to break down today because today is a glorious day. The schedule just dropped. We know we know who all we're playing all throughout the 26-27 season.
Yes, sir.
And I guess just before we dive into all of this fun stuff, AJ, how you doing this afternoon, evening?
Buddy, I love the schedule drops. They're so much fun. Like I've really enjoyed seeing how creative some of these teams are and how not so creative the other teams are. So, we will get to those later because those are dunks. I do have dunks for that. But Rob, I will say the coolest one I've seen so far, the Atlanta Hawks got that kid who can do all those bird noises, and that thing was dope. And then he like ended it with the hawk thing, scared the crap out of me. I was like, "Oh my god." So, yeah, dude, great day. How you doing today?
Oh, dude, I'm doing fantastic. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful day. It's a lot to digest when we look at the Spurs schedule. Obviously, we've known that we're playing the Knicks on Christmas Day. We know that we're playing Oklahoma City opening night. This is all very exciting stuff. Our two biggest rivals at the moment, and it is very interesting from that point. And Melissa Spur coming in hot, and it's she's saying too many nationally televised games. And when we look at the amount we are seeing, we're playing 34 nationally televised games. That is tied with Knicks, Lakers, 76ers. So how are you feeling about that?
I love it, honestly, because I mean, we talked about a little bit last episode. Like, we don't know what DAZN's going to bring. Like, we have no idea what they're going to bring. So, if we're going to be able to watch them on at least 34 different times throughout the year on a national level, that's huge. And also, that tells me also we're box office, dog. We had one no more than 2 years ago, one national televised game. Now we have 34. I mean, that's the Wimby effect right there. We are box office. People want to see us win, lose, or draw. We are now those people that people want to watch. So, and you add that to some of these times, you're like, huh, that's a little early game because we got to deal with the people in France and other parts of Europe now. So we're going to get some of those early games too. But all in all, like I see a lot of interesting matchups for sure. And like the first ones are interesting, but overall, dude, like I like what I see.
Yeah. Overall, I do like the fact that we're getting the respect of a contender team with an exciting face of the league type of player, and we're not being treated like a small market team, because there was years in the past where we were dominating, we were dynamic, we
Yep.
had title hopes, and we still didn't get the national television coverage that other teams would get. And when we look at it from that perspective, I love what you just brought up, the Wemby effect and what that brings. And I think just given a look at this schedule, we have a very favorable opportunity to start the season off on the right foot. I think when we look at these first 10 games, six of the matchups, we're going to be playing the Jazz, Kings, and Mavs twice. So I think that this is a good opportunity to start 8-2, 9-1, and then really just kind of solidify ourselves as, hey, we're still that team that was in the finals. It's just we're retooled and we're ready to go.
The first two games I'm going to take with a grain of salt. The first two games, like if we start off 0-2, I'm going to be like, okay, that's whatever. Like we it's fine. We don't know what OKC is going to be. We don't know what Houston's going to be with Van Vliet back. So it is what it is. Also, that Houston game's in Austin. Now, here's where I start to get a little bit annoyed, if you will. An early in division game against Houston in Austin, like that game is early. Yeah, so like it may not affect the standings too much. But if we're neck and neck with the Houston Rockets, or it's one of those half game, full games things, and it comes down to we lost that game in Austin early in the season, that's gonna piss me off. Like that needs to be a home game. And I mean, I know that Austin is close by and like we have that relationship. I'm cool with that, but you have to know the details that go into it, because with that one detail, if we're in, like I said, if we're neck and neck with Houston at the end of the year, I don't think we will, but if we are, like the fact that that one game could be the determination of all of it, just man, that pissed me off.
Yeah, it would. And yeah, it's a good opportunity to get some continuity and a little bit of momentum at home. And as much as the Austin games feel like home, it's not at home. And so I liked those games from a little relief from the rodeo road trip.
Yeah,
And so that to me is an interesting dynamic as well. But I still even think with that wrinkle in the fold, there's a high likelihood we start at worst 8-2 against these squads.
yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, shout out. We got Melissa Spur and we got Dr. Spurs in the comment section. Absolutely. Good evening. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff about the schedule that I am very, very excited about. I mean, a lot of stuff Spurs related, stuff that's non-Spurs related, but I think we do have some good favorable matchups. And obviously, when I'm looking forward to this Christmas game, I haven't been looking forward to a Christmas game like this in a very,
Yeah,
very long
it's gonna be
time.
fun.
It's gonna be very fun, and I know that, it's not gonna be like a revenge game, and if we get this win, it's not gonna make up for a damn thing that happened last season, but it does mean something when you have this many eyeballs on you on a holiday like that. It's a statement win. Go out there and get it done.
And it's not, Rob, it's not just the holiday. It's the first game of the slate. It's Madison Square Garden. It's the San Antonio Spurs. It's a rematch of the finals. And so even if you're just a casual, they always say the old saying is the NBA season starts on Christmas Day. And what better way to have your kickoff of the like the when you finally get into the fold of the season than this game? This game's going to be nuts, man. Like it's going to have all kinds of things on it. I'm going to go out on a limb and say Wimby Christmas Day is going to have 60. I'm going to say it right now. I'm going to say he's going to have 60 because I think he's going to be that much of a he's going to take that much of a leap, and he's going to be like he's going to set the statement and say what happened during the finals is never going to happen again. Watch this. And it's going to be one of those where like those tickets are going to be so damn expensive, probably just as much as the NBA finals games, but man, it's going to be fun to watch. I'm excited to see that one. But also at the same time, like I'm curious to know what we're going to look like during December. Cause last December we were still hurt. So we didn't get our full team until February. So it'll be interesting to see like, what that team looks like, in on Christmas Day.
Absolutely. Yeah, there is some good stakes in that game, and you're right. It's going to be interesting to see what we look like at that stretch in the year because there's a healthy amount of road games around that time. That's a chunk of our schedule. We're 7 of 9 of our road games from December 20th all the way to New Year's Eve. That are all going to be on the road. So 7 and 9 of those games are going to be a lot of traveling back and forth, and that's not even the rodeo road trip. So it's
Yeah.
very much will we be able to kind of fight through that, and will our resolve be able to make it through, and I think we will. I think, and shout out to John Elizondo on last episode for bringing it up about continuity, and now that we have an off season to gel, we know what each other are going to be doing, where they're going to be within the flow of the offense, and how they're going to be maneuvering. So to me, when I'm looking at November, December, even January, I think that we're going to be able to mitigate a lot of those risks, rest people in a lot more interesting ways so that we're ready later on in the season.
Those are the games where a guy like DJG can come in, drop 20, and we win the game. Like those types of scenarios, like that's when you have like the depth that you had. That's when you can get maybe a Taurus Reed goes off in the month of December and has a double double the entire month. That's very possible in these scenarios because they're going to get a lot of PT during this time. Because like now now injuries happen, things get moved around. You realize what worked last year is not going to work this year. So how can we utilize the team? And then that depth that we had that we've been talking about is going to be so key. And Tobias Harris is going to come out during that time too, and he's going to be able to get his own shot, middies and in from there. So like I see a lot of really good. All those holes that we had last year just seem so much better this year, and we upgraded everywhere. Obviously, we have plenty of guards that we can throw at people, so I'm not too worried about that. Everyone can play defense as long as big guy in the middle is still going to be there for most of the game. I think we're gonna be looking real good this season.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think plugging the holes is a great way to describe it because there was times where we failed to be able to create our own shot at times, and having a guy like Tobias Harris throughout stretches of the regular season is so huge. If Fox misses a couple of weeks and Harper or Castle misses a couple of weeks, then we have a guy that is a dynamic shot creator who can just catch the ball, 1, 2, 3 dribble, and then do his own thing. That relieves so much stress of the offense to where it's like you don't need to be making the perfect pass every time. You're not worrying about the turnover nearly as much. And he's such a clean basketball player with the ball in his hands. And I've said it before, he's going to step in and be this team's best free throw shooter. And
Sure.
at high 80s, that is a guy that the opponent does not want to foul, and when you have a guy like that on the court late in game, that's an asset.
Yeah, and also another thing too, in that stretch when we're on the East Coast, a lot of those teams aren't necessarily tall, but they're quick and they play very fast from in the Eastern Conference. If we get Tobias Harris in there, and all of a sudden he's a mismatch at the four, that just makes things a lot easier for us. We can dump it to him. He can get to work down in the block, inside on the elbow, wherever he needs to operate. And all of a sudden, we have that option where now the other teams are getting thrown off on their side. So I see a lot of really good things for that. I'm liking what I see from this off season. Everyone seems to be in the lab right now, just working out, getting their shot. If Steph Castle can start making 3 pointers, this thing this thing can get real serious real quick. I'll just say that.
And that's the way things were trending at the end of last season. I mean, you look at Steph Castle post All-Star break, and he was about 38.5%. That's that is above league average, looking like a really, really good off-ball threat at that point. And when you think about the future and Dylan Harper being the on-ball slasher, Stephon Castle being the defensive demon who can play off ball, and then you have Wemby, the consistent lob threat depoy guy, MVP year in year out. That is such a
Oof.
deadly trifecta. You can't beat that. You can't build your young core better than that.
And then all it is just like a simple, and as long as Wimby's in the middle, you just kind of swap those pieces out here and there. You get a couple of percents better, a couple of percents better here, a little faster on defense there. Then all of a sudden you're looking at a team that's winning championships. And I think this team can do it, man. Now I'm curious to see what we do in the NBA Cup again. I would love for us to win that one too. I would love for us to get to the finals again and get that W back, because I also think even though the NBA Cup we lost, I think it did help us though. I think it helped us at least in the first round of the playoffs. Just the intensity was there, the stakes were high, so you knew that everything had to be kind of crisp and ready to go. So I would like to see us try to make that plunge again, but we also don't have a really tough group, so we should be able to make at least to the knockouts or however they do it. But I mean, we're basically in the Pacific Division with everyone else. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think you have incentive to take those games seriously. You want to win that extra money for the guys on the two-way contracts that, aren't really getting paid what the starters are getting paid. So it's you feel a sense of urgency for those guys. You want them to get that check. And so I really do feel like there is a layer of importance added to those NBA Cup games. So if we
Wimby
could
wanted to get it last year, dude, for sure. He
exactly.
was he really wanted to get it for those guys on the end of the bench. So, that's why I love you when your leader is able to see that. Hey, you know what? These guys would love a little bit more money. That'd be great. So I'm here for it.
Yeah. Yeah, and to me, that's what it's all about is how can you add any kind of importance to these regular season games, take them a little bit more seriously. And I think that in itself is one of the many reasons why we're going to consistently rattle off. I mean, maybe every single year we're not going to win 62 games because right now teams are game planning and they are
Hmm.
just trying to do every single thing to take advantage of mismatches against us. So I know that we're going to be getting everyone's absolute best. So maybe mid high 50s is something to reasonably anticipate this year. But if we end up going on like a 15 game win streak and, multiple times this season and rattle off a 65 win season, is that going to surprise anybody? No,
Nope.
nope.
Nope. Nope, not at all. But I am looking at the schedule again right now, and there's a stretch in here where it gets kind of tough, man. We got at the end of February, we got Denver on a home and away, Houston at Houston, New York, Washington, Philadelphia, OKC, Houston again. That's a tough stretch, and we're gonna know a lot about our team during that stretch. That's for damn sure.
Well, that's the rodeo road trip.
Oh no, that's a homestand.
Oh, wait. Oh,
That
sorry.
that's not that's
Sorry.
at the beginning of the month. At the end of the month
Oh,
is
yeah.
where we do it again.
Yes, you're right. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong stretch of games, but you're absolutely right. Yeah, that's gonna be a daunting chunk of the schedule right there. And yeah, I think it's, you know, can we cruise through some of these matchups where we have clear mismatches and we can just beat teams by 20 in the first couple of quarters and just rest the starters? And, if we can start to move like that a little bit, then I would be really, really happy because then I could see avenues to where, we rest Wemby in some of these November, December, even January games. And then post All-Star break, we start
Yeah,
ramping up his minutes. We get his minutes all ramped up to maybe even like mid high 30s to where like a
absolutely.
month and a half playing like really, really high minutes. So he's
And maybe
ready
that's the
for,
time we do it.
yeah.
Maybe that entire March month, we just ramp up those minutes because that's when you do it. You don't do it against, the bottom of the league team. You do it against the teams that may like in the Eastern. Do it definitely do it in the Eastern team. And just like we said last year, we win Eastern games, we're going to win a lot of games. So if we can continue to beat those teams, I mean, obviously we'll see them in the finals, but if we can just get, you know, two against Philadelphia, two against New York, two against Washington, or 1-1 on some of those, that's where you want to be. But I think now with Wimby and what we saw, he needs to be in those mid to high 30-minute games. He has to. And I think that's going to make him even happier because I also think he might be able to average 30 to 35 this season as well, which I would love to see. I would love to see him grab more rebounds, but only time will tell. We got to see kind of what happens when we get there. But right now, everyone's healthy, everyone's happy. I like what I see, man. Love the schedule.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think this is an opportunity for Wemby to play a larger role with a more focused within the offense. And so I think, yeah, production to be a little bit higher. That is what I'm expecting. I don't know if he'll touch 30, but if he does, wouldn't surprise me. If he averages 15 rebounds a game, it wouldn't surprise me either. And I think with Billy Donovan, he's going to find better ways to be around the basket and
Yeah,
in
for sure.
lob threat situations because Billy Donovan's all about creating just really, really easy offense.
And it's not only that too. Billy Donovan saw what he had with Kevin Durant. Hey, you know who's another really tall shooter? Wimby. So, hey Wimby, whenever Kevin Durant got the ball in the high post, he did this, and got to his spot. No one can touch you. Why don't you run that a couple times? Okay, cool. Let's do it again on the other side. Like those are the things that Billy Donovan brings to the table, and it just makes me happy that we can address the offense now. Defense, we haven't even talked about defense because we already know defense is great, top to bottom. Wimby being down low, blocking shots. I mean, we saw what the Timberwolves tried to do. They tried to go at him. He had 12 blocks that game. Didn't work. So you can't do that. And then on top of that, you have just absolute demons and Dylan Harper and Steph Castle out there, and Julian Champagny and Devin Vassell are no jokes too. So, like, I'm not worried about defense. It's the offense that we have to absolutely lock down. And if we can start averaging 120 a game and make it look easy, dude, like this is going to be a very interesting team to watch because we have the firepower to do it.
Yes. We have the firepower, we have the depth, we have the personnel, and now I feel like we do have the coaching staff on the bench to help Mitch Johnson in those minutes where, in the last 2 or 3 minutes of a really crucial game, we don't stagnate offensively, kind of look like deer in the headlights and just pass to Wemby and then hope he creates something
Right.
out of nothing. That's not the look we need, and that's not a good recipe for success. So I think there is a lot uh, that I think Billy Donovan will do to kind of bridge that gap. And
Let me ask you, do you think so? Last year we saw Wimby come out and it was like a, oh my God, Wimby's here moment for the league when we played the Mavs. This year it's OKC. Do you think he one ups his performance from last year?
I think so. I think anytime you have a matchup between him and Chet, there is that level of like, dude, I'm going to go at this guy that they were comparing me to and then prove him wrong. So that's a little chip on his shoulder. And I feel like he's going to be at that point at when fall starts creeping around where it's like, dude, I haven't played a real competitive basketball game in a while. And it's like, dude, that feeling is like an itch that you really need to scratch. And so like I feel like, yeah, if we see him drop a 40-20 game with 8 blocks and we end up winning by, 15, 20 points, that wouldn't surprise me one bit.
No. And what's going to be great too is to see at tip off how much bigger he is compared to Chet because they're going to be shoulder to shoulder. Someone's going to have that before and after picture from last year to this year. And I guarantee you, Wimby's going to look monstrous next to Chet. So I hope he won the lottery because he's going to need something here pretty soon.
Right. Yeah, I mean it's hard. He's gonna have to do a lot of working out to get over that bird chest that he has. And
The only thing that sucks about this thing is because we're prime time now, we have to be on more on West Coast time. So some of these start times, man, you and I are gonna have some late ones. That's for
yes,
sure.
yes, we will
We're
have
not
some.
to baseline.
Man, it'll be some late episodes, but I couldn't be more fired up, dude. We got a lot to get excited about, and yeah, even for some of our late episodes, even from some of our overtime games and stuff like that, man, it's tough to get on there, but man, it's tough to see us, you know, winning less than 57, 58 games. So this is
Yeah, I think right now the over under is 61 and a half.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. If we end up winning 57, that would be nuts. Like 58 nuts. And so like maybe not nuts, but very unexpected.
Yeah. But I mean, hey, if anyone can do it, it's this team. That's for damn sure.
I mean, I think that
Do we really think the Houston Rockets are going to be that much better? Like, did OKC are they better after they shipped off Dort? Like, I mean, I get it. J Dub wasn't there, but he was there. He had 26 points in the first game, so I don't want to hear it. I just don't. So, I mean, I'm kind of looking around the league right now, and I'm like, I like what we see. The Lakers, dude, don't get me started with the Lakers right now. They're in all kinds of craziness right now. They just got sold again. So if you're on that team, like, do you really want to play for a new? We have that conversation on the side, but the Clippers are in shambles. Denver didn't do anything really. I mean, this thing's wide open for us, and I wouldn't be surprised if we do get to that 60 mark, man.
yeah. Yeah, cuz there is a lot of teams that kind of change their identity, and there's a lot of like, oh, how is this player going to acclimate? Whether you're thinking about the 76ers, whether you're thinking about Giannis in Miami or, Jalen Brown leaving
Yeah.
Boston, how does that look? And, it just kind of makes you point at some of these like revenge games, some of these return games, and how those are going to shape the league. And which one are you most excited about?
Which
Like,
game?
well, like return game, like whether it's like LeBron going back to
Ooh,
LA or like Jalen
oh, definitely
Brown,
Jalen Brown back to Boston.
Jalen,
1000%. It
is
has to be. Because
especially wearing a 76ers uniform. It
yeah,
almost feels sacrilege.
and then after that, he's gonna stream about it, and we get to hear all the things that the Boston fans said to him.
Eesh. You know that Boston fans
I think it's
are.
gonna be very emotional for Giannis to go back to Milwaukee. I think that's gonna be a really tough game for him to play. Honestly, I think he's gonna play well, but that first quarter is gonna be either electric or very very sad. I think it's gonna be a very emotional comeback for him.
Yeah, I do. Just because of the time he spent with the franchise. You've spent 15 years with somewhere. It's, that's roots. That
Yeah,
that's a lot
he
of
learned
your.
about Oreos and milk in Milwaukee. You don't
Absolutely.
forget that.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy when you think about it.
Does Kawhi count as a return?
No.
I mean, he
No.
technically got traded, but
Traded. I
I
mean,
mean, back, but not really. I mean, I don't know.
to me, I think the all eyes are LeBron going back to LA and playing for the first time on Christmas Day. For me, that is like that could be one of the most watched games all season, just because of the hype, not only on Christmas Day, but what's LeBron like? How is he going to act with the Lakers? Is he going to be all? And so I think, to me, I'm excited to see that reunion as well, and
I mean,
all
the
the
only
drama
reason
that
people are
that
going to be
brings.
watching that game is because we were on before it, and they're going to be like, "Well, I'm already here,"
Mhm.
and so everyone's just like, "All right, oh hey, LeBron James is back in LA. Look at that."
I watch every Christmas game. I'm gonna watch even some of the bum ones, even though it's not. There's never bad Christmas basketball. That's like an
No,
oxymoron, but at the end of the day, like it's pretty interesting when you look at some of these return games, like, I mean, I don't think like LaMelo Ball returning to,
no, that's
you know,
silly.
like
I don't care about that.
Charlotte, or like, oh my gosh, Ja Morant returning to Memphis. It's like I don't think those are a big deal, but some of these other ones I legitimately do think are
I mean, is
like.
Ja even going to play whenever they go back to Memphis? I mean, shit.
I mean, they're acting like he's going to be a part of the rotation, and I just they have so many guys that do similar things and get downhill in the
And
same
make
kind of
three
way.
pointers.
Sometimes, not Ja.
No, not Ja, but they have other guys that can do that. Like,
Right.
so I mean, we're curious to see kind of where this thing heads. But I do feel that the West is a little bit weaker this year than it was last year, and I think the East has really tightened up, especially at the top there. But I mean, even their kind of mid tier teams are they can get you on a good night, and we saw what Charlotte did to us last year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, there's definitely some shakeup. I mean, LeBron going from west to the east, that gives a little bit of strength to the east, and you have guys like Nas Reed going from west to the east. There were a few other trades that where you're like, okay, I can see how some of these teams in the east improved in various ways, and yeah, I do think it'll be interesting to see everything shake
Giannis
out.
went from north to south.
Pretty much, yeah. Still east as hell, but yeah. Um, but yeah, it's there was also some playoff odds that were dropped. So it's very interesting to see where we're shaking out in the midst of things. And right now it's got Oklahoma City as the title favorites, and I don't know how I feel about that.
Oh, show him first game.
Exactly. I think that's a little bit of momentum sprinkled
Interesting.
on on everything. Yeah, it's got, yeah, plus
I mean,
plus.
I mean, I like Carson Wallace to an extent, but like, is he the Is he the answer or the fix? Like, I don't maybe?
Yeah, Kaysen, I don't know. He's a great dynamic on ball defender, and I like what he does, but it's they're really gonna need AJ Mitchell to step up and be healthy, and because they pretty much blamed not having him and J Dub's lack of production on why they lost to us, and so you're going to need to really keep AJ Mitchell performing, and he's on one of the best contracts in all of the NBA. So you got to capitalize while you're paying him that, because you're not going to pay him that for too much longer.
Yeah, and Mara is not the answer to Wimby. That we man, I hope I hope they do bring him out. They're like, "Hey, guard Wimby," and Wimby's like, "The Rook."
Bro, Wemby is gonna take him 6 feet away from the basket and then put him in a pan and flambe him.
Yeah. Oh, I hope they do it. I hope they do it. That'd be so much fun to watch.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's too slow-footed. He has some good touch, but he's just too slow-footed to guard anybody like Wemby, and Wemby just has too many skills that translate to 15, 20 feet away from the basket, and that's a nightmare for someone like him.
Oh yeah, especially now too. Like we've been talking about, if he has that Dirk fade in his back pocket now, good. Like the NBA's done, and maybe that's something Billy Donovan was talking to him about. Maybe that's something Billy Donovan told him. Hey, that's an unstoppable shot. You should be automatic from that.
Yeah.
And so maybe that could literally have been the conversation and how Billy Donovan got hired. It wouldn't be surprising me.
Yeah. I agree wholeheartedly, and if he's going to continue to incorporate those kind of wrinkles, not only with Wemby, but with everyone else, I think, ooh, we might have found a diamond in the rough, a guy that has that head coaching pedigree, but is willing to take the best assistant coaching job in all of professional basketball, and that's with the Spurs.
Yep, I agree. Especially
Um,
at the Rock now, man. I think sweet.
dude, hell yeah. Um, absolutely, Melissa. Utah and Dallas did both get better. I think Utah definitely got quite a bit better.
I'm interested to see what Utah comes with this year. I'm so curious because like they're not a bad team. Like they're really not a bad team. And if anyone's gonna put it together, it's gonna be someone from the Popovich tree. So I mean, if they all buy in, it's very possible that they could be one of those dark horses that come out of nowhere. But also at the same time, like they're very young and they're very dynamic. I think they might turn over the ball too much. So we'll see what happens. But they have a squad. They have a squad.
Yeah. But you brought up the fantastic point right there. They're going to turn the ball over a lot. They're going to rely on Darren Peterson for a lot of on-ball creation, and you know, I don't want to shit all over his assist to turnover ratio in college, but it wasn't necessarily great. And he was finding himself like passing out of like mid shot situations and kind of getting double teamed, and then like basically passing people some
Mhm.
grenades. And that's what some of his assists look like. And so I know he has the ability to get, 10, 11, 12 assist games, but a lot of times they're accompanied with these like 7, 8 turnover blunders from time to time. So
Yeah.
I'm really interested to see how he gets incorporated in their offense, and is he going to be a volume scorer point guard that is going to help facilitate, or is he going to be just like a true traditional point guard kind of thing?
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, and
I'm
we'll see what we have with Triple J too. I don't know what he still has left in the tank or what he's all about. That depoy of his is very dusty at this point, so I'm not really,
gosh,
like I said, I have no idea what to think with him right now.
fucking
So
fraud depoy, fraud ass depoy. And I hate to say it that way because he's a really really good defender, but he does one of the most important aspects of defense horribly, and he's such a bad defensive rebounder that it's hard for me to be like, he's the best defender, because he's never been top 15 in the league in defensive rebounds, and he consistently has these like 5 or 6 rebound outings where you're like,
Sure.
damn, you're a 6'11 really athletic forward. It's like you should be snagging these boards. Like, I need more double doubles from you. And he'll, quietly average, 6 rebounds a night. And it's like, okay, sure, but you're the best defender, I guess.
Your dad was better. Oh.
No, and once again,
The
it's
OG too.
the OG, and once again, I'm not saying that to shit on Triple J. It's just when we talk about the best defender, you kind of need to cover all of your bases defensively, and
Yeah.
that's a big gaping hole for me. Yepa.
Yeah, no, I get that. Well, you mentioned grenade and just made me realize, dude, one thing that's been kind of circling around on social media lately is the best grenade ever caught, if you will. And that's when Julian Champagny threw a grenade to Devin Vassell and Devin Vassell nailed that 3-pointer. Dude, that's still one of the craziest things I've ever seen on a basketball court. And I mean, that thing should be replayed every year, every day, because like that's just such a hard shot to make.
That no dip three mid air is
End of the shot
insane.
clock.
Insane. Yeah, to have the awareness to not only catch, go up with it before the time went out, but within the rhythm, and it was a jump shot. I mean, yeah, is somebody that's
In a
worked on my
playoff
jump
game.
shot. Yes, in a super high stakes, meaningful playoff
Your
game.
first
Yes,
time doing it. Like
absolutely nuts. And
so
as someone
yeah.
that's worked on my shot for 20 plus years, it's mind boggling that it went down that way, I guess.
Damn, that was one of my favorite shots I've ever seen in my life, man. I love it when those things come up, and yeah, man, I'm curious to see how that first game goes. I think that first game is going to tell us a lot. It's interesting that we start the season in Austin. Not really how I wanted to start it, but it is what it is. So, we'll get there. I'm excited to see what this the first 2 games. We'll know a lot. Like we'll learn a lot about this team, whether they're ready to go or they need some time to gel a little bit more. But either way, we'll learn a lot by game 2 and 3.
Yeah. Yeah, very winnable games, but also gonna be a really good test right out of the gate, and a lot to be excited about, a lot of national broadcast games, and we're gonna
A lot of
see
jackal time.
a lot of Jackal time, and we're gonna have an expanded Jackal section doubled from last year, so they're gonna be making a lot of noise, and what we're gonna be seeing is a lot of national broadcasts, and hopefully that leads to just a little bit of fear in this home environment. I want teams to just be like, "Oh man, that's loud over there. I can barely hear myself think
Yeah, I
in the
want them
frost
to
bank."
go. Man, I really hope they build a new arena.
Yeah. They won't say that. They don't give a fuck about the arena.
Well, they
But
might. Maybe they get stuck in traffic too, coming from the east side. So, maybe they're like, man, love to just kind of get out and walk back to my room.
yeah, would be nice. I mean,
Would be nice, wouldn't it, Rob?
we are pro Project Marvel, and we have not been shy about that. But with that's a can of worms that we've dived into many times, and we'll dive into it again at some
Do it
later point.
again.
Not on this show. We've talked about it to death recently for sure. But anything else you want to talk about schedule wise, or anything else before we dive into some other topics?
No, man. I think we covered most of it. Like I said, I'm also just said really curious to see what we do with the NBA Cup. Those are very winnable games that we should be able to get to Vegas for. So I would like to I'd like to get a trophy under the belt before we go for the real one.
Yeah, it's just nice to have games that have a little bit of meaning. It just
Yeah.
gives you a little sense of urgency, and it's hard to manufacture that in November and December. It's
Right.
really, really hard to do that. So anything you can cling on to, you got to do it. Yeah.
Let's just make sure the courts are going to be okay for the NBA Cup because some of those were just rough, ugly, gross. I mean, I do like the way they have like the key and the paint and all that, like with the trophy. That's dope. But like some of the color things that we're doing, I mean, it's a lot, man. It's a lot. So let's hopefully those calm down a little bit and we can actually watch it on our TVs. Because sometimes I'm sitting there, dude, and it's just like, oh, and I have a headache now because it's so bright and oh god dang. So
Why is it neon? Why
yeah,
is it
exactly.
neon green? Why
So I just I need them to better up their NBA Cup courts. That's all.
Yes. Yes, absolutely, and I could not agree more, Melissa. For last year's finals was an embarrassment with all the Knick fans there. That's a result of everyone just selling their tickets to the highest bidder, and the highest bidders were all New York fans that were paying huge money for plane tickets, game
Yep.
tickets, and yeah, unfortunately, that's how that is, and the
That's why you got to
demand
tax the tourist.
exactly, and they were here renting hotels and cars and going to restaurants and bars and stimulating the local economy. That's why we're looking at 160 plus mil generated in the playoffs. And it feels like here we go, just getting into the Project Marvel stuff again. It's like we get yeah, but at the end of the day, in its essence, I think this is all going to just create a positive trend, and that's everyone getting back into the Spurs family because it's been a while before the cities got swept up into Spurs family madness.
And and just like we said last year during this same time, you know what gets everyone really excited about a new arena? Winning games.
Yep.
So go out there, do your job, win the games early, get everyone hyped up, and create that buzz early on. November comes around, you're on like a 10-game winning streak. Wemby's MVP, favorite right now. Those types of things can really bring on a team and really get people to the polls. To be honest with you, if we do have to go into a vote, so I mean, I think the Spurs are San Antonio and San Antonio are the Spurs. So I think right now we're just really annoyed that we haven't seen any basketball and we're like really itching to go because we're seeing football come around. Baseball's right in the middle of everything. We got the World Cup. So now it's like, uh, when's basketball coming back? And so now we're getting antsy. Too many people on the Twitter are not out on the hardwood watching Spurs. So I think that's what's going on right now.
That's the product of the off season.
Yep.
We all get sucked into the social media aspect of everything, and really we're just wanting to see some competitive basketball again, and we will soon.
None of this gym shit, dude. I hate. Probably talk about it every week at this point. Just the videos on social media of people playing basketball, even the Steph Castle ones. I'm like, that's awesome. He's making 3 pointers. Like, I love it, but it's a practice, guys. Let's chill out. He hasn't figured it out. I got to see it on a real life court. And same thing with everyone else. Every year, Jeremy Sohan drops one, and you're like, dude, I don't care. But then he still gets signed by somebody. So just all these offseason hoops that we see in gyms and all that, I don't care. It's not real. It's fake. Just move on. Not everyone's here to be happy, and not everyone's figured out their shot. Let's take a step back.
Right. It's like, well, I like to look at the process of it. It's not necessarily, oh, your shot's going in, that means you've been getting better. It's like, no, it's just where are you taking shots from? That tells me, oh, you probably took 50, 100 reps from that spot or something similar to that. So Steph Castle's working on his three. It doesn't mean that, he makes a three and everyone's like, oh man, dude, he's
Yeah.
so good. And it's like, I obviously you want to see him making shots, but it just goes to show those are the kinds of reps he's getting and doing day in, day out.
Yeah. And also like these are pro players too. Like they've gotten paid to play basketball. I hope they're making their shots in empty courts and empty gyms because if they are not, we got a problem.
Oh yeah. I mean, dude,
Like the
even my
Ben Simmons ones, guy. Like, dude, you left so long ago. Like, I do not care if you come back. I don't care how good you look. Go back to Australia, dog. I do not care.
yes. He's anybody that's going to take that much time off to go fishing is telling everyone else you want to go relax and not relax because competitive fishing is real and you really do need to have skill to go do that effectively. So I'm not trying to belittle professional fishing, but it's also just far less athletically, Yeah, strenuous. I'll
It's
say
interesting to
that.
see where Ben Simmons is at, and now Patty Mills is going to be playing on Tony Parker's team, and it's like, wow, talk about like did not expect that. Like Patty Mills at his age is still playing ball, and Ben Simmons is trying to get back in the league. So here we are. And of course, every time it comes up, like the Spurs are have a really good chance of getting Ben Simmons, and it's like, stop,
Nope.
stop,
We're not gonna entertain that one bit. And
no,
I'm glad that we've never even taken that notion seriously. Um, but yeah, that's definitely a good point. I think yeah, there's something that we definitely have to talk about that happened recently.
definitely,
Russell Westbrook retiring. Uh, I,
yep,
I think that's a very very big thing. Definitely
36,
absolute
right?
absolute legend of the game. Yeah, I believe he's 37.
Hmm.
But most points by a point guard in NBA history, most rebounds by a point guard, most triple doubles. It's just absolutely dominant. You look at his numbers: fourth most assists by a point guard, third most blocks by a point guard. He just does so many things and fills up the stat sheet. There's really not a lot of people that play the game like Russell Westbrook who just bring that intensity every single night, willing to meet you at the rim violently and don't really care about where I land or where my body's going. And dude, and there's so many people that will be like Westbrook and all this stuff. And it's like, you're talking about a top 10 point guard of all time, and it's not even debatable at that point, and hands down, he deserves way more respect than that. So I like to see a lot of people giving him his flowers recently after obviously after he retired.
Yeah, and not the way you want to go out, but at the same time, dude, like when you're a point guard, no matter how many points you have, when you lose your athleticism and you lose your step, you have to have a jump shot behind it. And he just never had a consistent jumper. He would have really rough 3-point percentages, but like and unfortunately he's kind of retiring early. And I think it's just because he wasn't versatile enough. So you see like a guy like Steph Curry who he lost a step, but he can still shoot the ball lights out. And it's a very interesting dynamic when you see the two types of point guards that we're probably going to see moving forward from here on out. And Westbrook opened the gate for guys like Steph Castle for him to be a dynamic point guard too, and guys like Dylan Harper as well. So now we're in kind of like that kind of prototype in a lot of different places across the league. And Tyrese Halliburton, same guy. Just someone who's relentless on the floor. And when he was at Oklahoma City, he had to be that guy. He had to be the one scoring the points, grabbing the rebounds, doing the assists. I mean, he probably poured water too on the side. So I'm just saying, like he had to do it all for that team whenever KD left.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. He put the team on his back, and he performed and got that MVP. And as much as I wish that he had his farewell tour and he got to, go to all these organizations and, he get the applause and stuff like that. Honestly, I think his career is a little bit misunderstood to where I don't even know if he'd want that. I think, that video he dropped with Michael B. Jordan
Yeah.
is very him, where he didn't say anything. He's kind of like, what I've done kind of speaks for itself. So I kind of feel like that was the way it was always meant to be. And even in his last season, still putting up like good effective numbers, and one of the most cerebral players to play for the Kings in the last decade or so. So it's like, even in the twilight of his career, he was still making decisions better than just about anyone else. And people forget even before that stop, he was putting up triple doubles like going back and forth with Jokic certain nights when he was in Denver. And this is a guy that was still pretty effective later on in his career, despite some of those inefficient jump shooting nights.
Unfortunately, point guard stat fillers do not win championships. Like we see guys that are just absolute guys who've gotten to the finals, but they just can't get over that hump. And it sucks that he's in that conversation now of a point, like literally point guards who haven't won championships. Like there's a whole bunch of them. Probably the top 10 has, probably the majority of them don't have championships, but it is what it is. And you got to have your second best player or someone else to help you along that way. You can't do it by yourself. And that's what makes me look at this Spurs team and go, we have a Westbrook, we have a guy like KD, but can play way better defense. We have the pieces around that we can make this thing really go. So I think we do look somewhat like those old OKC teams, but I think we're losing a good one. I was kind of hoping he'd go play overseas. I think that would have been fun for the fans over there for him to go out, because we definitely get like some Westbrook fights for sure overseas, and that would have been fun to watch with all the logos on his jersey. But if he's going to go out this way, I mean, he's made plenty of money. He's good to go. But I'm curious to see what he does next.
Yeah, I'm curious too. I think he's going to make probably enormous amounts of investments. He's got all the money he could ever spend, and so yeah, I think as much as you'd want a farewell tour and everyone to give him his flowers, I think it was maybe never meant to be that way. So I think shout out to Brody for an amazing career.
Retired a king. Oof.
Retired a king. It's never a good
Yeah,
thing. Yeah, never a good thing. But it, it's not like he retired a Celtic Shack though. I don't want this to be like he was Celtic Shaq or
sure.
Toronto Hakeem or you
Spurs
know
Dominique.
Spurs Dominique or Spurs Moses Malone. It's like it's like there's no he was still useful to the very end, and I think that's an important distinction.
Sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Enjoy retirement, bro.
Yeah, seriously, like, I mean, dude, like, his off-season training videos were nuts, like, he would do so much agility work, like, running uphill and, you know, just so many
Running across the
explosive
sewer, fighting bad guys.
bro, yes,
Listening
pretty
to Master
much.
Splinter.
Right, yeah, just always eating pizza, uh, facts,
Can't tell me he doesn't look like Ninja Turtle.
a little bit, yeah, absolutely, and when you see his hardened shell, his demeanor no, I'm just kidding, uh,
But I mean, like he definitely looks like the prototype guy that he looks like a guy that the basketball coach tapped on the shoulder after he saw him play football and was like, "Have you ever shot a shot?" And he was like, "A couple of times. Like, you want to come play for me?" And then like that's how Westbrook got into basketball. Like he just has that frame and that build. And I mean, just he was dynamic in college, and he was even more dynamic in the NBA. So, and we see, like I said, see a lot of guys starting to play that way. But you have to have a shot to back it up in order to make that career last a little longer.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, a little bit longer would have been nicer, but he is the version of Derrick Rose that didn't get hurt and that dynamic guard who was elevating and finished and, you know, did his thing and it's hard to convince me otherwise and he's absolutely going to be a top 10 all-time point guard, probably closer to that 5 spot than 10
Yeah,
if
he'll be in the Hall of Fame
absolutely. No, yeah,
for
no
sure.
question about it with how many triple doubles, MVP, and just and honestly what he means to the game. It's like he's he may not be a lot of people's favorite player, but there's a lot of NBA players who will be like, whose like motor do you respect and who goes out there and gives it
Yeah.
their all? And Westbrook's gonna be on that list. Uh But just moving on a little bit, there's one other thing that stuck out to me media-wise, and it was the Lakers getting sold again.
Yeah. We flipping houses now or what?
Apparently, we're flipping franchises over here, bought for 10 billion not too long ago, a little over a year ago, and now 12.5 billion dollars sold and is okay, I'm just going to ask you right out of the gate because you and I like to dip our toes into some conspiracy theory. Did Mark Walters sell ownership of the Lakers to Kushner because of the Donald Trump connection and the fact that he's being investigated?
Probably, dude. I honestly probably. And I mean, it's a weird thing. I I didn't think the Lakers were going to get bought and sold again. It's it's gross, I guess is probably a good way to put it. It seems corrupt. So if it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, acts like a duck, it's probably a duck. So that's kind of how I feel about this situation. And I'm trying to like not dive too much into it because I know how I am. I'm just going to keep diving and diving and diving until I find a hole where it's like, well, the reptilians actually own the Lakers, and I'm like, whoa, we went too far. So I think I just think it's a weird thing. It's weird that how it all goes down and all the connections, and you're seeing the lines just drawn right in front of you. They're no longer behind the curtain kind of thing. So um, I'm just glad that I just hope that we don't sell out at any time for us for the Spurs. And I'm glad that we have the Holtz leading the way because you're seeing that there's a lot of these franchises now that are going to be starting to be bought and sold every other year now. And apparently it's also to avoid taxes or something. I don't know, but or maybe that's his stuff that he's in.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
I mean, there's all kinds of rich people problems I think he's avoiding by selling this at the time he is. And I also think that being able to make over a couple of $1 billion in that time, just a quick buy, quick sell, that is insane. Probably the quickest couple of billion anyone's ever had to make, ever been able to make, I should say.
And all you did was ship LeBron and said, "All right, I'm out too."
Right. All you got to
Like,
do is just show up and be mid.
is that why everyone's white?
You know what? I wouldn't put it past it.
Holy shit, that's insane.
That's
Did you just
wild.
figure it out?
Dude, we just connected those dots, man. We connected those. But you know what I really think is that Bob Iger bought the team because he heard that the Lakers had a Mickey Mouse championship. He was like, you know what? I already own Disney. Why not get a Mickey Mouse championship as well? No, I'm just kidding.
Sure,
But
sure, sure. I,
no, it's yeah.
it just shows just shows like these franchises like outside of the Spurs operate like businesses and the Spurs operate like a family business. And so we have to be lucky of what we have with the Holts. Like we don't have those LA problems and those LA monies and we're not having a new owner every other year type of thing. So I think, this is a good way to kind of say, hey, like these owners, like they're not all bad. Like ours really, really, really good. A plus.
Yeah, yeah, we have good ownership that really wants to fund the team through non-corrupt ways, and that means working with the city, collaborating with the county, and all kinds of stuff like that. And so, sure, if we were the Clippers, we would pay for it through fraud, or if we were a large market team, we could flip the team like it's a piece of real estate, like you were just saying. And it's insane the valuation that the Lakers have right now at 12.5 billion. And you look at the next team that was recently bought, and that was the Celtics, and that was 6.1. So the drop off is absolutely staggering when you look at Lakers, Celtics, and then it's just a pit. Everyone else is like at
Dude,
3 billion.
the owner was there 9 months. Like you don't even know where the bathroom is, dog. Like you're still like, hey man, what do I left and then a right? Okay, cool, thanks. Like he didn't even have it a full calendar year. Like that's crazy. Like that's wow. And he made $2 billion off of it. It's like, all right, cool, thanks guys, see you later. Your problem now. And I mean, if you're playing for the Lakers, dude, it's a weird position to be in because now you've had two owners and less than 2 years, and you're sitting there going, well, what's the franchise going to look like? What's our direction? Because one way we're going this direction, the other owner wants to go this direction. Like, what's our goal here? Like, there's so many things going on, and I wouldn't be surprised if Luca starts to go, you know what? I don't want to be here no more.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me. I mean, if there's that kind of dysfunction in the front office and that is accompanied with inconsistent play, and they're looking like they're a bottom tier playoff team, that might be enough to force him out the door. He never really wanted to be there to begin with.
Yeah.
So yeah, very interesting situation in LA when you look at the fact that they were just sold again so recently. It's just wow, the turnover for Lakers ownership is nuts. 3
We
different
got to be
owners in
thankful
like
for
18 months.
our family owned franchises, man.
Yep,
Like if you're up in Green Bay, be happy about that. You're here in San Antonio, be happy about that. Like these types of homegrown franchises, like they're not going to come back anytime soon. Like we're never going to see this unless we start to see an increase in some soccer here in the US and we actually get some promotion relegation going and we get some random team to get promoted to MLS like somewhere out of Boise who sells out every stadium at 7,000 people, but if they make it to the big time, that'd be fun to watch and that could actually really help the economy. So, anyway, I digress.
absolutely. Yeah, that's definitely a way that can positively impact the local economy. Um,
The economy.
the economy. But yeah, fantastic. I love that.
Like I know what I'm talking about.
Wait, dude, this is a finance bro podcast over here, okay? No.
Caleb
Um,
Hammer here.
dude, puts up job postings all the time. I see him. I see the Hammer Media uh jobs that he posts. I'm like, dude, should I cam op on a Caleb Hammer thing? Like that would actually be kind of fun. Like I would love to be sitting back there like like
Yeah, dude, it's like, damn, you are broke.
like god dang, I thought I was bad with my money. Shit. I'm like, "You took out another cash advance? God damn, what are you
Bro,
doing?"
the best thing you could do is just like every person that came through while you were doing the camera op, just like when they're walking away, be like, hey, here's a 20. It's okay.
Hell no, I'm not doing that. Um, but yeah, it would I've seen that multiple times. But one thing I have seen is the tryouts for the Austin Spurs G League team, September 12th.
Uh-oh. I
Should I pay $200 and document my experience with this? Do you think that's a good idea or a bad idea?
think it's a bad idea.
Yeah, probably.
But no, I also think it would be a fun idea if you could actually get cameras past, wherever you go. But I would imagine like signing up. I mean, I guess how are your knees, buddy?
I mean, I'm feeling okay. I mean, I'm not feeling like it would be horrible, but I also think that if it was like an AAU style tournament where I had to play like an entire weekend, I would be cooked. But I think if it's like one afternoon where it's a few hours, I think that I'm pretty solid. But yeah, man, I think it would be chest harnessed, GoPro on my chest kind of thing. So I don't know. I'm mulling it over right now.
If someone wants to sponsor Rob trying out for the Austin Spurs, by all means, hit up our DMs. How much did you say it was, Rob? $200?
$200.
Rob could be the next Jonathan Simmons.
Bro, I'm telling you, I'm 6'5", 220. I got some decent knees. No, I'm just kidding. No, honestly, it would just be fun to kind of document that experience and kind of just like see what the process was all like. So you could, get a realistic view of
Yeah.
what some of these young athletes are going for when they're trying to chase their dreams.
Now, Rob, if you're trying out for the Motor City Cruise, I would have been like, yeah, dude, you're going to make that team 1000%. Have you seen that video online yet?
Dude, I I
It's
I did see that.
wow. I'm like, and of course, like it's a tryout and stuff like that. But man, I've seen better pickup games than that. That's for damn sure. And now, if you're trying out for again for the Motor City Cruise, I would been like, yeah, dude, you're gonna make that team easy.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
but this one down here, we have some pedigree, so we'll see kind of what happens if you end up doing it. But if anyone wants to sponsor, September 12th, Rob will be putting on a GoPro and going to try out.
Yeah, dude. Hopefully I don't kill myself, but you know what? It'd be a fun experience either way. Get a little Jonathan Simmons in there.
You're like,
Fantastic.
I'm 22 if this was a few years ago.
No, they would hit me with the bad boys line. You're at least 30. I'd be like, "You know what? I'm almost 40, damn it." But at the same time, yeah, I wouldn't have too many more years where I would feel confident in even being able to do something like that. So I
Yeah,
think,
you should do it. If
yeah,
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 it'd be great
I'll
if we can sponsor it,
yeah,
and
I'll certainly think about it. Yeah, yeah,
if you
if we
do that,
can,
that'd be fun.
yeah. But absolutely. Any other stuff you're wanting to yap about before we segue into some dunky dunks?
Nah, man, nah, nah. But I definitely want to get in some dunks. That's for sure.
Yeah. Oh, sounds like you're wanting to get something off your chest. You want to start us off, or do you want me to set the tone?
I think I got this.
All right.
I would like to dunk on Ja Morant.
Ooh.
Ja, dude, you got to keep a lower profile. You can't be flexing a $250,000 grill on social media, dog. Like, you have the worst reputation in the entire NBA, and you're out here just acting a clown, dog. Like, what are you doing? Like, you need to be a lot more responsible with what you're putting out there. Like, it's a great grill, don't get me wrong, but you also have a whole lot of rap report behind you to like say, hey, maybe a grill on social media isn't the best look for you right now. So I want to see him succeed. He's a great player, was a great player, and his shoe's really dope. I just wish the player matched the shoe.
Yeah. Worthy dunk because Ja tries to dunk on everyone. So anytime you can reverse Uno it back on to Ja and dunk on him, that's satisfying.
And I do also have a little rim grazer. I do.
Ooh, graze the rim.
I I love my Spurs, Rob. I love my Spurs. I really do. I love my Spurs. I was a little disappointed with the schedule release. I thought it was clever. I liked what they did and how they did it. Like, I thought it was cool when they showed the Pelicans and like how he put the Eiffel Tower. I look around the league and I'm like, well, that's cooler. That's cooler. Well, that was cool. Even like I said, the kid doing the bird call. That was cool. Like, I don't. I guess it's San Antonio adjacent because it's the hill country, but it's not like. I mean, I would love for them to be downtown or doing something different, or we get Pedro Pascal to come in and be like, "I'm from San Antonio," or kinda, and
We
he's like,
don't
"I love
need Pedro
tacos."
Pascal.
And we might like he's
That's
like kind of from San Antonio, not really. Like,
that's
he lived here for a little bit, so
that's too
um
Hollywood. That's too
I
I don't
mean,
know.
then get Eva Longoria. She's always available.
There
So
we go. There we go. No,
it just
I think I know what you're getting at. It
you know what
just
I'm saying?
felt
Like, you're just like it was good. Don't get me wrong, like, it was fine. It was just I wanted something cooler, like maybe we get an alien somewhere and they do the announcements, or I don't know, just something a little bit more than what we got. It's very cowboy, and I guess that's our gimmick, so I gotta live with it. But I'd like to see the Riverwalk or maybe the Frost Bank Center or something. Just give me something.
yeah. Yeah, I can understand that particular grievance. I can get behind that. Um, absolutely.
Who you dunking on, Rob?
I'm gonna dunk on the recent NBA Topps Chrome update set.
Ooh.
And this is like a huge. This happens very randomly, but generally it doesn't happen at this close of a window. And generally with some of these massive sets of cards where you're paying $1,000 a box, the chase card doesn't get hit until months down the line. So people have an incentive to buy these boxes because you may hit the big card. The Topps Chrome update set launched August 6th, and the chase card, the Cooper flag card that was valued at anywhere from 2 to $4 million was hit August 10th. So it
Hmm.
literally took 4 days for the best card in the entire product to get hit. And so to me, anybody that was like, "Oh, I'm gonna spend $1,000 and have an opportunity to hit this big card," it's like you're gonna second guess that. You're not gonna do it. And so, to me, this is a huge tank on one of the biggest card products in the whole year. And so this just soured a lot of people that were, card vendors wanting to sell a ton of these boxes for 3 or 4 months out of the year. And it's really, really interesting because sometimes you see even years go by and you're like, oh man, I guess that card's in a box somewhere sealed up and no one's pulled it yet. And this gets pulled in 4 days and it already has like a $4 million bounty on it, and it is absolutely crazy. But that one of one debut auto patch Cooper Flag is that's a holy grail of a card, life-changing card.
Yeah, absolutely. What would you do with the if you pulled a card like that, Rob? Do you sell it immediately, or do you hold on to it just for a little while longer and see what the value does?
I think at that point you sell the card immediately. If somebody has a bounty that high, you sell it right away. In my personal opinion, because if there's always a chance where Cooper Flag has an amazing career. He rattles off a bunch of championships. He doesn't have a huge scandal where people are going to tank the value of his cards. And, all the things stack up to
Right.
where he's got this perfect career and his value ends up going up over time. But the likelihood is that something is going to happen over time to where his value is going to go down, and it's not like it needs to be massive. Like, look at
Sure.
Zion. It's like all it took was a few seasons where he wasn't really healthy. His numbers were still the same, kind of similar, still productive when he plays, but his card value is like 10% of what it was as a rookie. And so,
Yeah.
you could end up shitting the bed and that card could be 100K in a few years. And you're like, damn, I should have pocketed that 4 mil. And
Fair.
that's that would be the thing for me is like, yeah, you gotta go after that money. And plus, you know, anything can happen to a card. It can get destroyed. A lot of crazy shit can happen. So definitely dunking on Topps Chrome update set. But also I do have like a follow-up rim grazer. I'm gonna dunk on Tim Howard and Bethesda, and I just really need them to not screw up Elder Scrolls 6. And there's just, man, Skyrim came out in 2011. This is 15 years. They've been They've been teasing Elder Scrolls 6 since pre-COVID. It was late 2017 since they've been teasing this, and all of a sudden we're hearing rumblings from Bethesda behind the doors, and they're like, "Oh yeah, people have played the game. They said it's great." And we're like, "Wait, what?" We like we've been waiting on this. Like, this is my Grand Theft Auto 6. Like,
Yeah.
this is my shit. Like,
Oh yeah.
I've been wanting this for a long, long time. And so the fact that they're acting so nonchalant about it and being like, whatever. Yeah, we're not going to tell you what we're naming it, but we've named it. And we're like, fuck you. Like, Todd Howard, this better be amazing.
Well, as someone who walked into your room several times or your living room several times while you were playing Elder Ring, I only know how much it means to you.
Dude, Skyrim
Hours.
is,
Hours.
dude, Skyrim is just one of those games where you just immerse yourself and it can get addicting. But
And then you're like, "Hey, do you want to play?" I'm like, "Dude, I don't know what to do." And he's like, "Just follow the thing." I'm like, "No, I'm good."
it's like, dude, you're acting like I'm a stealth archer character, but really I'm a warrior mage, okay, AJ? Like, what are we doing? um, but yeah, it's just, don't make this another Starfield and fuck this up, because they spent multiple years developing a franchise that now nobody wants. And now everyone's like, all right, are you gonna get back to doing what, like, Fallout and Elder Scrolls stuff like we want you to? And I'm glad they are,
Yeah.
but don't fuck it up because it's been a
Yeah.
while.
Speaking of GTA 6, I think the Wizards did a thing to that, which was hilarious. So, yeah, so like I said, some of these other teams, man, just a little more creative. I think we could have done some cool stuff. Like, I don't know, drive around 1604 with the overpass that is completed now. That would be cool.
Pretty dope. That's a flex right there. That's a huge flex. Absolutely. But Everybody, if you're still in here after the NBA schedule breakdown, if you're still in here after we're yapping about Russell Westbrook retiring and the Lakers being sold again, if you're still in here after all those dunks, then we really, really appreciate you for being a part of the Baseline Bums podcast family. Whether you're watching the lives on YouTube, the lives on Twitch, the clips on Instagram, TikTok, AJ's got things popping off on the Twitter. We're putting out great content all the time. Make sure you follow and subscribe to the Baseline Bums podcast. We've got a lot of great guests lined up for the future, a lot of great episodes, all time lists, and some games that are going to get dropped very, very soon. So, yeah, a lot of stuff to get excited about when we're talking Baseline Bums podcast. And yeah, and some really, really cool guests in the very near future. So definitely stay tuned. And another summer giveaway as well. And Melissa,
Ooh.
your item is officially on the way. So um, that being said, I'm gonna end this episode and end this the way we end all episodes, and that's with a go
Go Spurs,
Spurs
go.
go.